So this is a video of me going through what I learned at or trying to go through what I learned at a wilderness first responder course a few weeks ago. And I'm just gonna kind of go through the recording and talk about what I'm doing and more importantly, what I'm supposed to be doing that I'm missing in it. So, and Tyler's pretending that he that he fell out of a tree while trying to remove a bee's nest, and I'm gonna try to help him.
Yo, are you all right?
Approach from line of sight.
What happened?
Kind of establish communication.
Goddamn. You landed on your arm? Okay. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do is make sure that
Kind of indecisive
you're not
about where
bleeding anywhere. And do a trunk check.
Damn. I'm gonna look for deformities. Is the first thing.
You hit your head at all?
You kind of bounced off the ground.
You bounced your head off the ground?
And I totally forgot to check the stomach.
Just feel your pelvis.
And I'm kind of just like going through
check for blood.
what happened to him. Super half-assed. Look for blood. If he was bleeding,
Have you dislocated your arm before?
Doing that.
Okay, yeah, it looks like it's pretty dislocated. First thing I'm gonna do is get you off the ground.
I'm establishing a history of stuff in the background.
No, it's this arm, right? Since it's pretty cold, I'm gonna get you in a hypo wrap. What? Do you have any allergies or medication that you take? You're always stressed. Medications?
Have you hurt your arm before? We would have. It was freezing out.
But now it's your left arm.
Maybe that's all just
okay. What happened to your right arm?
It's been a few weeks.
Yeah, so I'm gonna roll you onto your right side and check your spine while I do that, and then I'll put you on the
Totally gonna check the spine.
Try to hold.
I'll try and grab the shoulder that's supposedly dislocated.
Okay. Yeah, we'll deal with that as soon as I get you off the ground. 1, 2, 3.
Probably screaming about grabbing his shoulder.
We'll get you off the grass.
I look for that fade hindsight. Tyler's in the movie. And just got my haircut.
Alright, yeah, don't worry about moving. I don't want to have you hurt yourself anymore. Then I'm gonna try to warm you up a little bit.
I realized that I just did not put enough parts for his feet. Usually the feet would be tucked in, but all the parts were by the side. His feet are sticking out.
Let me take over the ground.
Now do
You
some
said there's
really
sharp
important.
pain. And your forearm also.
And
Okay,
check for
yeah, it
CSM
looks like it's a
both
little
ends.
angulated. So I'm gonna pull traction line, I'm gonna pull it in the direction that's pointed and then slowly release it and hope it kind of goes back in. Yeah, no, yeah, and first I'm gonna take your pulses in both hands.
Yeah, CSM, so I compare the arms
Okay,
to
yeah,
see
your
if
left pulse is weaker. Can you squeeze?
or has less like nerve response.
Okay. And you know which finger I'm touching? You don't know. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully taking traction line, pulling traction line will help with that. Oh, let me redo that. I'm gonna pull on 3.
Usually don't
1, 2.
Ah, fuck.
3. Your pulse isn't much better still. Next I'm gonna try to put your shoulder back in. But
Realistically, this is
I'm
probably
gonna splint first. Do you feel any other injuries on your body? Your back hurts. Okay. Yeah, I forgot to feel your spine. But it's fine. Yeah. I'm gonna splint your arm and then I'll try to clear your spine so we can get you out of here.
And realistically, I should probably go.
First thing I'm gonna do is just kind of check the rest of your
Oh, I do.
body.
Yeah. do kind of a more detailed check of the spot.
Starting. Some bumps in your head.
Looking for
Nose. Brain fluid. In
with
your,
contusions, you can have fluid
your
leaking
ears.
out the ears
That's
if
good.
you really
Do you have any
crack your head.
have you had concussions before?
There's the stomach check. And as I'm talking to him, I'm kind of going through an ample history, which is like allergies, medications,
See if I
last
can
and
find
last
my
out,
pedal pulse.
events leading up to it.
So your blood pressure is still good. No pain down here or anything. It's quite the fall.
Really, I
Okay.
should be taking off the shoes, actually check.
Happy with
the
that.
pulse and counting through foot. You know, we're blaming on me being out of practice.
I'm gonna split your arm, and then I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna take your watch off. I'm gonna split your arm. And I'm gonna try to get your shoulder back into where it needs to be.
And really, I should be taking his vitals at least once by now, but I'm just, for some reason, not. So that's how it's going. And there's a SAM splint. And when I do this, realistically, the person would probably be screaming because of the shoulder
Quit the watch.
and the
Dan.
fractured arm, but you know, so I'm kind of rough with him.
Where did that rope go?
But he's just kind of taking a nap at this point, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to lift your arm on your stomach. Yeah, don't worry. I'm gonna get it in the sling as soon as I. Where did I? Gotta find the rope.
It's kind of boring, but it's
that
probably the most exciting video on this channel yet. This is cool. I molded around my own arm because you don't really want to mold it around the person's arm. Wow, it's broken. With SAM splints, you want to kind of make them C-shaped so they don't bend. So I'm just kind of like popping a C-shape into it.
Okay.
You can also make it T-shaped for even more strength. If you're going like
Okay.
for a full leg kind of splint. At this point, I still haven't put his shoulder back
How does
in,
that feel?
but you know. Now I'm just like, what am I doing?
Just gotta lift up your arm.
And Tyler was like
I'm
almost
not sure
an
what I'm gonna make
EMT
your
at one
sling out of now
point.
that I've used everything.
Or maybe he should be the one doing it to me. Maybe he would have brought something better than twine to tie up the splint with.
Probably carry you out in this situation anyways, it'd be less necessary.
That's kind of wrong. If his spine's cleared
Pretty
and he
much just
doesn't
made
have
a
a
knot
back
out of my
injury,
car.
so I walk out. Because it takes so many people to carry someone else.
It's fucking like, yeah, don't judge me. I left all the paracord in Bart's car. Yeah, right. Try to get it pretty tight, but not uncomfortably tight. How does that feel?
And the key here is that his hand is holding something, so it's in like a natural position. It's like almost holding a stress ball,
Before I do this, I'm gonna try
so
to
his hand can stay
take
comfortable.
your hand. Take your.
Yeah, I forgot to take this pulse before I put in the splint because you want to make sure that the splint isn't reducing blood flow to the hands.
What finger am I grabbing?
Luckily, I kind of find my way to his hand.
Okay. Yeah, your pulse still feels okay. See if I can get this a little bit more secure, and I'll see if I can get your shoulder back in.
Close, tie, bows. That's how it goes. Let's see if I do that. Get up. Yeah. I must be a pro.
I need to do some serious editing on this if I was gonna put this on YouTube.
No, I'm not gonna edit it all, actually. Yeah, they keep it raw. Ties every 2 inches, supposedly. And the splint's really bulky, but it's good to have padding on both sides of the hard on. Except for the bit that's sticking out without padding.
No, I know you're allergic. What were the events leading up to this? Are you dehydrated or anything, or you just slipped?
I was a little dehydrated, water a couple hours, but just trying to get it
You fell right out of it.
And I'm asking questions that I should be asking him, but before I did anything, I should have asked him specific questions about the injury. It's like OPQRST, like origin, what makes it feel better or worse, like rating it, if the pain is radiating or not. So you can really, it's kind of like a progression to tell if it's like dislocated or a pinpoint pain where it would be fractured. But it's somewhat justifiable to say because it was angulated, I could tell that it was a fracture and kind of go from there.
So I'm gonna do just kind of a small check of your spine. I'm gonna put the C collar on you if you can just wrist this. How are you feeling inside the splint?
It's pretty snowy.
Okay. You hold these against your body, kind of. Yeah. I'm gonna take your pulse one more time. What finger? Wait. What finger is that? Can you squeeze? Okay, that's a little better. Now pulse. Okay. Your pulse is faint, but it's better than before. C collars in. I'm gonna roll you away from your hurt shoulder.
And the C collar should have been there from the start. If there's an MOI for spinal injury, which is a fall from 3 times the height, impact to the head, and what's called, what is it called? Pretty much if your neck is bent forward and you get hit in the top of the head, like if you're diving, it's another mechanism of injury.
6, 7, 9. Any pain? 12, L, 1.
And then I count to 7 for his lumbar. There's only 5 vertebrae, so I don't know where I found the other 2. But
Okay, that's good. Now I'm gonna have you sit up, and I'm gonna try to get your shoulder back in. Do you need a hand up? Okay, you ready?
And there's different ways to reduce a shoulder
Okay, maybe I should have cleared your
dislocation, but
spine
this
before
is
we
kind
do
of
this.
a
But so what's gonna
go-to.
happen is I'm gonna lift your arm in, up, and then back out, and hopefully it'll pop back into place. You ready?
A lot of the other ones are based around
If it hurts at all, if there's any resistance,
kind of
just
tiring out the muscles around the cuff and then letting it reduce on its
Let's
own.
try it a little different. Is that any better? And it should come back in right around here. Okay. Yeah, I think it's back in. I'll have you lay back down and I'll clear your spine, which I should have done before you step back up. Because that was a high enough fall for me to be worried about your.
So step over. That's
Spinal
an instant
injury.
fail if I'm taking a test. Right there. You gotta restart. You gotta restart. That would be it.
So, have you been drinking at all, or any kind of?
But we'll proceed anyway.
None of that. Do you have any injuries that are painful enough to distract you if you felt pain somewhere else in your body?
On the job?
No. Is it like the sting that you got? Yeah,
Probably
you're not allergic to
the
bees,
bee
are
sting.
you? You're not. Okay. 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 So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you follow my finger in a full range of motion. If there's any pain or resistance, stop, and we'll just follow my finger with your head. Yeah.
Tyler's like half
And
asleep
bring
at
your
this
chin to
point.
your shoulder. Okay, guess I should probably. Now bring it back. The other way. Other shoulder. Nice. Back to the middle.
Shout out my
Going up.
neighbors for letting me use their wand.
No pain or anything. And then back to the middle. And then back down to your chest. Okay. Now I'm arch your back carefully. No pain. Okay, and then holding my hand. Holding my hand. If you can just pull yourself up. No pain. All right. Well, you should be good then. That's that.
God,
You feeling any better?
my shoulder feels better.
Oh, that's good. All right. Well, that's that. Thank you.
Am I done?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to.
And then after I did that like in-field assessment, I filled out what's called a SOAP note, which is a subjective objective assessment and then plan, where I just kind of like go through what happened, and then I say like what is his, this is MOI, and then his main complaint, and then other injuries, and then describes the patient exam, which gives ratings, even though I didn't actually give ratings, but just kind of, I don't know. And then kind of gives a description, says what happens. I'm kind of going through, yeah, and then I go through his ample history, which I talked about. And then I go through from like the biggest problem to his least problem, and then say what I'm going to do about them, and if something like is determined. And then there's a spot for vitals, which I didn't really take a lot. I only wrote the ones that were observable, and that's that. Thanks for watching. I doubt anyone stuck it through to the end, but yeah, have a good one.